What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I really apologize that it's been so long since I've made any content. It's been winter and everything. I've been really slow, and the jobs that I have had, I haven't really had time to make videos on. I've kind of wanted to just knock them out, get them out of the way, get them out of the garage, get paid for them and everything. But I figured I'd come back, make some content for you guys, and hopefully jump back on the wagon. Today, we're working on a 2005 Toyota Camry. I already did an engine mount on it, but that's super straightforward, so I'm not going to make a video on that. What we're working on now is rear struts. Rear struts are super easy, simple, straightforward on most cars. However, I don't know, just wanted to make some content today, so I figured I'd show you guys the process, but it should be super straightforward. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to get the wheels off, and then I will start to show you guys what we're doing. So just to take you into the car and show you, there is a jack point way down there. If you can see that little bulge or whatever you would like to call it down there on kind of in the middle of the rear subframe, you can just put your jack on that. Let me see this guy right here. You can put your jack on that and lift it up from the middle, get both wheels off the ground at the same time, make everything a little bit easier, so you don't have to jack up one side at a time. So let's go ahead and jack it up. I've already got the trunk open, so we can take some of this plastic and liner off and get to the rear top hat bolts. So let's go ahead and get into it. Cool, now that we've got the wheel off, I can show you guys what we need to do. So we've got a 12mm bolt right here that's holding in the brake line to the strut. So pull that out real quick. Set that to the side so this can move out of the way. And then we've got our Allen hex key right here, and it is, let me take this apart, it is inside the bolt for the sway bar end link. I just took my 14mm ratcheting wrench, slid it over that, and then I'm going to take my ratchet here and put it in the socket, and I prop my ratchet against the bracket over here, so that all I had to do was work this nut off. And it probably would have been good to spray it beforehand with some PB Blaster, but all this grease and everything from, or oil from the strut has kind of loosened it up a little bit. So I'm going to work on taking this off, and then really straightforward, all we have left after that is one 10mm holding what looks like the ABS line to the strut, and then a 19mm nut and bolt that goes here on the back. Two of them actually, one's down there. So I've got my 19mm on an impact and a 19mm wrench to hold the other side, and I'll show you guys that here in a second once I get the sway bar end link off. Okay, I'm actually going to put you guys down for a second because I don't think I can do this with one hand. But if you guys can see, I have the wrench on the other side of the bolt because the gun won't really fit over here with the caliper as easily, especially not on that lower one. So I'm going to have the wrench on this side. Put you guys down. Hopefully you can see well. I know there's a wide angle, but I got the wrench, and then I'm just going to take the impact, and that one's out, easy enough. I'll work on the bottom one, same thing. Alright, and it looks like they're both going to slide out pretty easily. Take the wrench off, take the bottom one out. I always like to screw my bolts back into the nut so I don't lose which one's which, and it might take a little finesse to get the bolt out now that there's a little bit of pressure on it. I just like to take the wrench, kind of pry it out. You can take the impact with the wrench, pull it out like that. Now that all that's done, you can separate the strut from the knuckle. You see there it's separated, and we can go inside the car and take the stuff apart so that we can get to the top hat bolts, and I'll show you guys how to do that. All right, I put on a pair of gloves because my hands were dirty and I didn't want to get oil and grease on this customer's nice clean seats. But you're going to take this side of the seat over here near the corner, grab a good handhold and just pull up really firmly. You'll feel where the hook is. Just got to get a good grip and really pull up on it. Let me do this with both hands. Once you get both sides pulled up, it should kind of pull out. Of course, I'm gonna have trouble with it, but the whole seat, bench seat, should pull out of its position. You can either throw it on top of the car or throw it in the floorboard right here. So I'm gonna pull this bench part out and I'll show you guys what to do next. Now that you've got that seat out of the way for the most part, I realized it was a real pain to get those through in and out, so I didn't pull it all the way out. But down in here, there's a 12mm bolt, and you can zap that guy out real quick. I have my 10mm on here. Like I said, 12mm bolt right there. Zip that guy out. I like to stick it on the floorboard right there so I can remember where it comes from. Then over here you have a little like a release. You can fold the seat down, and then you should be able to pull this guy, this little lumbar side column thing. Should be able to pull it up and out of the way. So let me put you guys down so I can have both hands. I'll pull this out of the way and show you what to do next. Now that that's out of the way, there's this little piece of fabric that kind of sits like that. Little sound deadening, dampening thing. Pull that up and out of the way. You've got your two top hat nuts and studs right here. They're 12mm, so I'm gonna get my ratcheting wrench, take this one off, take this one in the rear off, and it should just fall right out. My mistake. There's actually 3 of them in here, and the last one is way back there at the back. Don't know if you guys can see it or not. Way back there in the back. So let's get that 3rd one off and it'll fall out. Bada bing, bada boom, just like that. Now let's get the new one and slap her in. All right, so this part, getting the new one in there and started is kind of difficult. I've done so many of them, I was able to do it by myself. I basically just pushed it up in there, lined up the 3 bolt holes with the ones in the strut tower, and I held it up in there with one hand, and I was able to actually reach around this with my left hand and start one of the nuts on the studs at the top. So if you don't feel confident doing that by yourself, then no problem, just ask a second person to help you. While you hold it up, they will start a nut, or vice versa. But it's in. Now pretty sure we're gonna need to put this on a jack stand so I can take the jack back from under the car and get this hub jacked up enough to line these bolt holes up again for the 2 studs in the strut to the knuckle. So let's get some jack stands, get them underneath here, and then we'll seal that jack. We'll put the jack probably underneath this arm here. We'll jack it up enough to line these bolt holes up, put the bolts back in, and we'll finish up this side. So it is kind of a pain in the ass to get these bolts started, but like I said, just put the jack under this arm here, jack it up so you can line up the bottom bolt. I got the bottom bolt lined up, started the bottom bolt, got it in there, and I got the nut on it. I don't know where we're looking here. I got the nut on it, and then the top one just would not line up for the life of me. Not really sure what's stopping it from this whole knuckle leaning back, but it was really hard to get it far enough back. So a trick that I did, I took my 19 wrench, I put it over the stud, then I started one of the lug nuts, got it all the way down, and then I used the wrench kind of like a leverage point to push the knuckle back, and I was able to push it back far enough to line up those holes just enough to get this bolt started in the hole. So now I'm going to take this off. I'm going to use the wrench to kind of whack the bolt through the hole all the way, get the other nuts started, and then I'll zip them down and tighten them up. And this side, relatively done. Just need to put back together the little stuff, tighten this basically the same way you took it off, put your Allen key in the middle and tighten the outside 14, put the 10 mil back in this guy and the 12 mil back in the brake line. So this side's pretty much done. I'll show you once we're all buttoned up, and then pretty much that's it. I'll show you guys pretty much how to put everything back together. But other side's exactly the same, so I'm just gonna show you guys this side, then I'll go on to the other side and knock it out, and we'll be done. So I'll come back to you guys in just a bit. So this side has a little hook at the top that you gotta line up with a little metal tab on the back. You slide that hook in to the tab, you gotta press it back really firmly, and then the whole thing just slides down. And then your 12 mil bolt down here lines up again, put your bolt back in, and then if you've already finished the other side, you can just push your seat back into place and push the front down again back into those hooks, and you're pretty much done. So that's struts, rear struts on a 2005 Toyota Camry. It's pretty straightforward. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hopefully I'll be back on the bandwagon making more content here soon. I have a video on a Cadillac that I'm working on that I will bring you guys along with a little bit. I'll explain that in that video, but for now that's going to do it, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this video helped. If it did, like it, comment below, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.